Hello, 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 and welcome to the morning stream here on the Den of Nerds Live, the very best way to start your nerdy day. On today's show, folks, we got to go over these crazy Black Widow movie theories. I've been blown away at the different theories going on with Black Widow. It's very interesting stuff. I want to get into that. I also want to talk about a very interesting creative person that wants to come over to the MCU. This is relatively new information, and I think it's pretty dang sweet. And so I want to get into that and talk about that. And also, we got some Shang Chi set photos. Shang-Chi set photos. I didn't think they were crazy enough to maybe do their own video, but we'll go into the theater, we'll look at those, we'll talk about what we think they mean. We got plenty of time for Q&A today as well, so it's gonna be a good show. What's up, everybody? I see you in here. MJ, Quincy, Travis, Hector, Garlic, Bill, Ryan, Lucas, Wu-Tang Wells, Hector, Jason, and Jeffrey Mao. Very, very cool stuff. What's going on, everybody? How are we doing this morning? Ricky's in the building. Anti-Oblivion Mirror. Attack Peter. Brian Boofka's here. Michael. What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody's doing well. Thank God it's Friday, right? What a weird start to 2020, huh? Strange week, too. I hope everybody is making it through this craziness. Chat, look, I got a voice thing going on over here, chat. It's been great to have this stream in the morning with all the shitty news. Well, I appreciate that. Star Wars Santa asks about the Clone Wars reaction. Look, I'll talk about this. I'll talk about this a little bit. I'm good. I'm totally fine. Just got a little cough. Look, you guys are far away from me, right? So you won't get any of the thing that shall not be named. By the way, YouTube, can you stop doing that? I mean, at this point, it's impossible to not talk about Corona. So it's just fucking crazy that they still are trying to like censor and stop videos from coming out. By the way, that was a point where I knew it was getting really crazy. You know what I mean? Nice, Adam. I get you, brother. I get you. Getting ready to go see My Hero Academia in the theater? Whoa. Nice, Captain Pennsylvania. Is this a new movie? This isn't Two Heroes, right? It's a different movie? Sounds like you've had some Corona to drink. Oh, man, wouldn't that be nice? Not this early in the morning, though, I tell you that. So one of the things that let's talk about what Star Wars Santa asked about the Clone Wars thing. So I gotta be honest with you. Last week, so I did the reaction and I literally like unlisted that video because frankly, I don't think it was very good content. And I'm starting to get like frustrated with this whole trying to be the first out there and try to put out this kind of content. And actually I have a meeting with the executive producers tomorrow and we're trying to freshen things up. I want to freshen the content up and I want to make great content that I'm really into, that I think you guys will be really into. And to be honest with you, Clone Wars right now, I'm really not that into it. Like, the episode was cool, but I'm just over the current arc. I want to get to the Maul stuff. I want to get to the Ahsoka stuff. We only have 12 episodes. And, you know, even though, like, I enjoyed it and I'm glad that we're getting that kind of stuff, I don't want to just do a reaction and try to act like I'm really hyped up about this and try to bring up all these different points and stuff like that. No, like, the show... To me, Clone Wars right now is whatever. It's literally like whatever. It's not really doing it for me. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I can make like a great piece of content out of that, you know? So I'm not even going to cover it. But I'll tell you this, just for those that are watching here, either live or on the replay, when it comes to the Clone Wars, that's my feelings on it. It's like, it was okay. Yeah, like reaction for reaction's sake. Yeah, definitely. And honestly, I think in general, there's like things going on in YouTube, right? And I'm always trying to investigate it. And I've been watching it and I've been in contact with some other people on YouTube that are like really concerned about changes and things like that, right? I think in general, there's a lot of people that are getting burnt out on the regularly scheduled YouTube content, especially when it comes to pop culture. So, you know, this Dragon Ball video that I'm working on, I think we'll release that later today. I think people will really like that video. We'll see how it does within the algorithm and stuff like that. But like now is the time to be doing really good pieces of content that still, are Star Wars, Marvel, DC, pop culture, but like less doing what YouTube has wanted us to do in the past and more just making good content. You know what I mean? And I want to know too, I would just like to know how you guys feel about this. Everybody that's in chat right now, do you think they should delay Black Widow? And do you think they will delay Black Widow? Because they delayed a ton of movies yesterday, including New Mutants. Holy crap, do I feel bad for the New Mutants people. Like, the New Mutants movie has been delayed. Will that movie ever come out? That is a wild, it's a wild thing, and I know things are absolutely crazy right now. You would be foolish to come out and make any kind of a definitive statement about what the timetable on this thing is, how we think things are going to shake out. Look, this is quite frankly unprecedented. This is really bizarre. And so as a whole planet, we're like trying to figure this shit out and figure out what we're going to do, right? But like if they're canceling March Madness, if they're delaying the NBA season, they're delaying all of these movies, I wouldn't be surprised if Black Widow got delayed. You know what I mean? I really wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if you look at what happened with Onward, there's a lot of potential blame to be put on the virus and things that are going on as far as people going out to see Onward. And so it could potentially make sense. And, we're going to talk about Shang Chi. Shang-Chi just halted its production in Australia because the director is self-quarantined and getting tested because he showed some symptoms, right? And, not to go too far like down that rabbit hole, I don't really want to talk about it. I'd rather talk about cool, fun, pop culture things and get pumped about it. But the reality is it's looking like Black Widow might be delayed. It's looking like, folks, this is going to be just such a weird time. It's going to be such a weird time because it was already a slow time for like Marvel news and hype and things like that. And things get pushed even further back, man, it's really interesting. And that's another thing, right? Where I was thinking about, well, maybe we really need to start making pieces of content that almost replace people going to see Marvel movies and that kind of stuff, as opposed to being ancillary to the films and to that universe. Maybe we need to start making some videos that are really like good, solid pieces of content, chunks of stuff, maybe even series and stuff like that. So I got a big meeting tomorrow with the executive producers, and we're going to go over a bunch of stuff like that to freshen up the content around here, okay? Now, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about these Black Widow theories because I find them to be fascinating, and I'm not sure how much I buy into these, but I'll tell you this. It's fascinating to look at what people are talking about with regards to Black Widow. So I think the biggest one is about how Natasha Romanoff could still be alive. Let me know in chat, guys. Have you heard about this? I know we've talked about it a little bit here. I forget who it was that brought it up. I don't know. You let me know if you're in there, because I know definitely people were talking about that. You let me know. Were you that person? The idea here is this is all based upon the shot where we see Yelena's skin, that graph on her face, okay? And there's actually a comic book. Trinity knows this. There was actually a comic book where Black Widow literally switches face with Yelena in order to get closer to some people. And so the thought process here, and by the way, I watched total shout out to New Rockstars and Eric Voss. They do incredible work over there. And that theory video that they popped off a couple of days ago after the trailer was insane. Holy crap, it was insane. But yeah, so the concept and what people are saying is that Yelena could have face swapped with Natasha, and that the Black Widow, I mean, this is so crazy, but that the Black Widow that dies in Endgame could have literally been Yelena. But again, like, the reason I don't think that's true. The reason I can't get down with that necessarily is because it's the Red Skull, the cosmic powered Red Skull, man. The cosmic powered Red Skull understands who people are. He's got some innate ability to know these things. Like, how does he know everybody's father and everything like that, right? Ooh, it's because she's a clone, Russell says. That's interesting. Yeah, Eric Voss, favorite YouTube guy next to you. Yeah, Eric Voss is great, man. Like, honestly, we model some of the stuff we do after what they do at New Rockstars. Just great content. So, I don't know, you guys let me know how you feel about that. But when I was first hearing that theory, I was like, it's impossible because of Red Skull. Now, there's a couple of ways that they could actually explain this, but I gotta be honest with you, I really wouldn't like it. Yeah, the one with the aim theory. I really wouldn't like that. You know what I mean? I really wouldn't. But it is possible. I mean, Black Widow has blonde hair in Infinity War and Endgame. She's got a very similar looking vest to the one Yelena has. There is that face swap scene. And you got to ask yourselves, how much is Marvel changing with their CGI and stuff for the trailer that we won't know about until we see the film? You know what I mean? But that would really destroy Natasha's sacrifice in Endgame, I feel. Maybe it could have been a thing where that happened for a while, but then they came back to it later. But yeah, that's definitely a thing. Now, the other one that I actually really like, and this was also something that Eric Voss talked about a little bit, I really like the concept that this family that Natasha has is going to completely betray her. That they're all going to betray her. You said all that stuff in your morning stream, and the new Rockstar appropriated your content. Oh, man, that's too bad, Trinity. That's too bad, Trinity, but that's the way of the world, I guess. You know what I mean? So the other one is definitely that this whole family betrays her. And the reason that I like this is because if you think about it, when we find Natasha in Endgame, and even in Infinity War, but really in Endgame, and she's talking about how before all this, she had nothing. And then she has this family, and she's talking about the Avengers. And there's got to be a reason that she goes back to hang out with Cap after the events of this film, because this is after Civil War. And so the only reason I think this could make sense is if this family betrays her, particularly Rachel Weisz's character. And so this Mason character, whoever he is, Rachel Weisz, possibly even Yelena herself, these people could all be betraying that, and they could all be being Taskmaster at different times. And so I like this concept that Taskmaster is actually multiple different people and shows up differently in different scenes. And the out that they have, because I do think they're trying to set Yelena up as the new Black Widow. I think Yelena will be the new Black Widow as we move forward into the MCU. And I think the out they have is this mind control super soldier serum that we get teased in the trailer, and that is also mentioned in a lot of the leaks for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Okay? So I think that's really interesting. The fact that there could have been this kind of mass conspiracy, all of these different people working against Natasha. And I think this is all going to be connected to Ross and possibly AIM. You know what I mean? Because we know that Ross is going to be at least partially in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And it seems like the through line there is super obvious. Whatever's happening with this revamped Black Widow program, which Taskmaster now runs, I think it has to be connected to Ross. It's all connected to this sort of trying to build the Thunderbolts thing behind the scenes. And I just think that's nuts, dude. So what if in this movie, everybody's Taskmaster? Like, literally, like, everybody's Taskmaster. You know what I mean? Everybody's Taskmaster. Natasha's trying to shut this thing down. She uncovers this thing that then becomes a thread for later on adventures with Ross and all of that. I don't know, man. Could be pretty wild. I'm buying into that side of the theory way more way more than I'm buying into the fact that Natasha could still be alive. I really don't want Natasha to still be alive. I mean, I guess that kind of sounds weird when I say it like that, but it's not that I don't want her to be alive. It's that sacrifice was great. You know what I mean? And I think that she played the shit out of that role. I'm glad that we're getting this movie. It's going to be awesome. I watched that trailer a bunch more, guys. It looks so sharp. It looks so cool. You know what I mean? It really does. But I don't know. You guys let me know. And to think I went and watched Eric's Infinity War down in North Hollywood only for him to betray me. Infinity fan down? What is that? I don't even know what that was. And I don't think clones is the way we're doing this. Although there could be a clone. So some people think that Taskmaster could be a clone of Natasha. Which is really wild. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's really wild. Anyway, guys, we'll definitely save time at the end of this stream for Q&A, and I certainly want to get into all of your thoughts. I saw some really interesting questions in there. Could be really cool. Let's save those questions and all that. And now I want to go over a bit of news that I think is really cool. And yeah, let's get into that. Chet, let's do it. It's the craziest news of the day. Oh, this news is crazy. Yes. The MCU is getting weird, and Lost creator David Lindelof wants to take a swing at the MCU. And holy crap, you can tell that this is a slow news day because this is the craziest news of the day. However, I do want to read some of his comments, and I think it's really cool. And I think we can have a good discussion about this because I really like Damon Lindelof. I'm not sure how all of you feel about it, so I'd be interested to know what you feel about it. So, the main dilly-dally here is that what he said was this. I think that doing something in the Marvel Universe, anywhere in the Marvel Universe, would be really potentially exciting for me, especially as they start to get a little bit more experimental. Some of the things that I've seen for WandaVision, for example, just feel like, okay, now we're getting somewhere, particularly in the television space. Okay? This was all done during an interview, and basically he's just kind of throwing it out there that doing something in the vein of that would be really cool. His latest cinematic release, which is The Hunt, just came out in theaters, and he was speaking to fandom about this, and he expressed that excitement about working within the Marvel sandbox. Now, I think Damon is a brilliant, brilliant creator. And this story is really cool because it points to this thing that is happening with Marvel, which is another reason that I find people that say that like it's over for the MCU or that, you know, things are on a decline and all that people just have no idea what they're talking about. Because there are creative people out there that are still finding this reality that Marvel is expanding and doing newer and crazier things. I think Thor Ragnarok and Taika, that was a real turning point. And I think even before that, a lot of the stuff that the Russo brothers were doing was really mind-blowing. But I really think that Taika, as far as attracting talent, that was a brilliant move. Because what he did with Ragnarok was so different and so special, and it resonated with so many different people, except for Tara, of course. But it resonated with so many different people that it allowed these creative directors to imagine what it would be like to do their own thing within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And yes, WandaVision looks to be insanely, insanely creative and experimental. But the thing is, if you look at the creative talent behind WandaVision, it is not one sole creative person making that happen. It is still sort of a committee type of thing. And so where some of the conflict comes in here is how are these directors able to play nice with the Feige way, right? Feige doing that. But definitely want you to let me know in chat, folks, what would you think of a Damon Lindelof MCU project? I'm pretty keen on it. I really like the Watchmen series. His newest, that thing that he did for HBO. I really, really liked that series. And I was furious with the beginning of that series. Like, absolutely furious. I watched the first couple episodes. I was like, nope. I'm out. Forget you, Damon. Forget you. Hector says, woke man, he makes me nervous, dude, and all that. Yeah, but here's the thing. Hector, have you watched the full show? Because there's some stuff, there's some wokeness in there. By the way, that shit actually did happen in Tulsa. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I don't know how woke it is. It really did happen. But the way the show, like, it starts out in this direction that you're thinking, like, yeah, oh, here we go. Another one of these just sort of woke shows and all that. But the thing is, man, the writing is really brilliant. And once you get to, like, episode 4, the way they incorporate the past, holy shit. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. The one big thing at the end of the show that I thought was a huge bummer was the fact that they just painted that dude blue to be Dr. Manhattan. That was a terrible decision. They should definitely not have done that shit. Like, that dude's great, and that's cool and all that, but, like, bro, Dr. Manhattan is not some dude painted blue. Like, it doesn't matter who the dude is. That ain't it, Chief. And they should have really upped the effects and made him look more like the one from the movie, from Zack Snyder's movie. That would have been, like, then you would have had, like, a damn near perfect sequel to Watchmen, the comic book. But I really felt like the show was brilliant. I really did. And I can't wait to see if he does get a chance to play around in the MCU in the Disney Plus place. Like, dude, imagine this, a Damon Lindelof Moon Knight show. That would be freaking brilliant. That's freaking brilliant. Kendall Davis says, I think he just kept his form because he didn't have the face until he stole the body. That's a lovely thought, Kendall, but the truth is they probably just burned through their budget. You know what I mean? Like, that's a beautiful thought, Kendall, and maybe there's a way we could make it make sense in the world. For me, nope, not good enough. And I don't care, like, who the person is. Like, black dude, white dude, Asian dude. It doesn't matter. Dr. Manhattan, in his glorious God blue form, he ain't just some dude painted blue. It don't matter. That actually was like a huge letdown for me in the show. It's a huge letdown. Which projects has he been attached to that have ended well? Hey, look, that's a fair point. Something with that dude and endings are not necessarily wonderful. I see a lot of really awesome questions in the chat. Let's wait just a little bit, guys. We'll get into Q&A in just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. We'll get into Q&A in just a bit here, okay? Give me just a second. But yeah, Lindelof wants to do something in the MCU. I would love it if he did something like in a Moon Knight vein, or something like that. I think that it would be really, really cool. And you know what else? To your point about him with endings attack, Peter, maybe the fact that it'd be working with Feige and it all has to fit into this thing, maybe that's the perfect solution to Lindelof's problems. You know what I mean? Maybe that's it. But anyways, I saw some people talking about the Shang Chi set photos. Let's get into the theater, everybody. Come on into the theater. We're going to look at these set photos. Gonna look at these set photos. So yeah, we got some set photos from Shang Chi. Probably won't be getting any set photos for a little bit because it's delayed now. You know, everything's getting delayed. But we got some set photos. And there was actually a hilarious thing. If you went on the Marvel spoilers subreddit, there was this reporter in Australia that stumbled upon the set. And there were cameras, and the reporter was trying to get footage of what they were shooting. And Marvel had a team of people with black umbrellas that was trying to hide everything from everybody's view. I thought that it was hilarious. Like, I'm sitting there watching it, I'm like, these fuckers with these things, they're literally paying people with umbrellas to be, like, blocking people's views and everything like that. But here's what we're looking at here, folks. This is one of these cool little thingies. And, there's a lot of people sort of trying to figure out what this means, what could this thing be, and all that. Who knows for sure? But I like the look. I'm thinking the hand. You know what I mean? These up here really look like... Oh, whoa. Let's Chet. Give me the red. Give me the red, man. They can't see that black. The top knot kind of things here, really reminiscent of sort of ancient Chinese design. The whole armor set itself really looks ancient and Chinese. I saw some people saying it's the hand. I saw some people saying it's the foot. So many different things that it could be, but it looks awesome. I love what I'm seeing as far as from the aesthetic of Shang Chi. Homeboys coming out of crazy, sleek, black-looking helicopters, but also having like guards like this. I'm into it. I think it looks awesome. And then the other one, see if we can pull this on up. This is the other one here. Oh, geez. And who knows what this means? This one is so vague. You know what I mean? Like, it's really blurry. You can't really see what's going on with this, but I like it. Whoever this character is looks pretty badass here. Maybe Shang-Chi's brother, some people have said. Maybe just some awesome lieutenant of the Mandarin. I doubt it's the Mandarin themselves, but very, very cool looking. Sleek stuff. I love this idea. Like, to me, the thing that's really interesting about this is the blending of the modern day Mission Impossible, James Bond, MI6, Wetworks kind of a thing with your classic Kung Fu, stereotypical master, with servants and royal guard and all that kind of stuff. Those worlds blended together. Sign me up. Sign me the frick up. And so, like I said, not necessarily enough to like do a full video on or to really get into, from as far as what could all this mean and everything like that. But I like what I see. Folks. I like the aesthetic. I'm feeling it. Whenever we get past whatever the hell's going on right now on planet Earth, we're going to be getting a lot of cool, nerdy stuff. You know what I mean? We're going to be getting a lot of cool, nerdy stuff. And now, before we get into Q&A, I want to talk about DOS Battle Bracket 2020. And look, here's the thing. A lot of people are losing their freaking minds over the Battle Bracket 2020. First of all, I know that it might be upsetting if the people you pick to win get knocked out of the bracket. I get that. That sucks. And I get looking at some of these matchups and being like, well, that's clearly just popularity contest. These fans are not thinking clearly. I know best. And the other fans don't know best. And therefore, they're ruining this thing. And I'm not having fun with it anymore. I feel like that's the wrong attitude. Like, almost all brackets and tournaments and things like this, the first rounds are pretty predictable. Like, it would have been an upset if He-Man beat Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a very popular character. At the end of the day, you've got a ton of people, thousands of people, just voting, and they're just clicking. They're not taking it into consideration. They're not doing charts, pie charts, Venn diagrams. They're not doing chemistry. They're probably not even flipping coins. They're just going off a gut feeling and who they like. And by the way, if you're one of those people that's incredibly upset that Luke Skywalker beat Goku, you know who you can blame? Rian Johnson. That's right, I said it. You can blame Rian Johnson. You know why? Because he made Luke drink the titty milk. He made Luke huck the saber over his shoulder. He made Luke be a coward on that island. And all the disgruntled Luke Skywalker fans, when they saw him facing up against Goku, they saw that opportunity to rise up and give Luke the win he so desperately deserved. So if you don't like that, you can blame Rian Johnson. And when it comes to Batman and Neo from yesterday, come on, guys. Come on. It's Batman. First of all, in universe, I think Batman would beat Neo. What's one of Batman's only superpowers? He's prepared for everything. He beats everybody. He made a gun to kill Darkseid. You ever seen that panel, by the way, where he doesn't use guns, but he's got this one gun and this crazy bullet that he made just to kill Darkseid, and he breaks his rule once to shoot the gun? It's really cool. It's a really cool panel. But it's like unbelievable to me how upset people are getting online about the battle bracket results. People throwing up their hands, people saying it doesn't matter. And I get it. If you're out of the running for winning the gauntlet, that sucks, right? That sucks. But this whole thing is supposed to just be fun. We're supposed to be having fun here. Have we forgotten that that's what fandom is for? Remember fandom? Remember fun? Oh, I remember. And so today, folks, going up live on the Twitter, going up live on the Instagram, and going up live on the community tab on the Den of Nerds, we have Skeletor versus the Joker. And I gotta tell you, Skeletor fans, you're in for an uphill battle. You know what I mean? You can vote. Vote early, vote often. Go make fake accounts. You could do it. So far, nobody has been able to disrupt the regular statistical line of how people are voting. And I think Joker's going to crush Skeletor. You know what I mean? I think once we get into the second round of fights, I think that's when it's going to start to get really, really interesting. That is always when tournaments just get more interesting. So, to all these people that are really upset about it, slow your roll. Calm down just a little bit. Calm down. Simmer down. It's going to be okay. And just vote and have fun with it, man. You know what I mean? Will we think about our matchups differently the next time we do this? Yeah. First time we've ever done something like this. Everybody needs to relax. And get out there and vote anyways. You know what I mean? Because only you can prevent forest fires. But yeah, today, Joker and Skeletor. Make sure you get on out there. Get those votes in. And remember fun. Remember fun. Bro, but Goku lost to Luke Skywalker. Jesus Christ! Yes, he lost to Luke Skywalker. Get over it. I love me some Goku. Trust me, I do. But come on. Guys, you know how many Star Wars subscribers we have? Like, people don't realize like how the whole YouTube game works and how this whole thing works. We have a ton of Marvel people that subscribe to the channel, but we also have a ton of Star Wars. Those are our two biggest verticals. We have so many Star Wars fans here. You know what we don't have is a lot of Dragon Ball fans. We're looking to change that. Video coming out later today. Should be really cool. Very, well, it's actually Marvel, Star Wars, and Dragon Ball related, but it's a focus on how Dragon Ball could be the next MCU. That's what the video is. Dragon Ball could be the next MCU, and I'm explaining why it's not, and why Japan and Toei and Shueisha doesn't seem interested in that at all. But yeah. I'm legit giggling over it now. DBZ fan right here. Beautiful, baby. Well, you're going to love the video we got coming out later. Only suggestion I'd have with voting would be to alternate sides of the bracket. That's actually a great idea. Adam. Bro, the good guys would come down to Neo and Goku, no contest? Nah, bro. I got to tell you, like, I haven't looked exactly at my bracket, but I feel like I'm doing pretty good. You know what I mean? I do. But yeah, let's switch into Q&A, guys. Let's switch into Q&A. We got a ton of time. Probably got like 20 more minutes. Slow news week this week, except if you're into like the doom and gloom stuff. Slow news week, unless you want to talk doom and gloom. And so let's just chat. You and me, Den of Nerds fans. It's just us now. Han Solo can't save you. Join me. I'll show you the ways of the Force. Do the right thing, people. Vote Skeletor. Let's see here. Anthony has a couple of good questions. Let's get into these questions. Josh, 2 questions. If the leaks are true and they're going to introduce the Thor core, not corpse, everybody. It's not pronounced corpse. God, you guys are such dummies. Anyway, Thor core in Love and Thunder. And would you introduce Namor in Black Panther 2 or the Eternals? Woo! Great questions. So, to be clear, Anthony, the idea of the Thor core being in Love and Thunder is really just a rumor. There's no, basis for it as far as being a leak. And these days, it's hard to tell, what does that mean exactly? Does that give it any more credibility or less credibility? When we talked about that the other day, I just wanted to talk about it because I thought it was really fun and really cool. You know what I mean? It's a cool idea, man. Everybody gets a hammer, building a bunch of Asgardian weapons. I think it would be dope. Bringing in Beta Ray Bill, I'd love it. But then the leak that we went over yesterday does not talk about any of that stuff. Okay, the leak we went over yesterday is talking about Gore and Sword and Abigail Brand and all this stuff like that. So who knows for sure which or if either of those are true. So we don't know. We don't know. I would personally like the Thor core. I would really like Beta Ray Bill, but I also like some of the stuff that was in the leak yesterday as well. You know, bringing in Sword and Abigail Brand and having Jane Foster work with Sword, that's really cool. And I don't know if they're going to do the cancer line at all. I don't know if that's going to work with what Taika wants to do. Taika's trying to have fun and be bombastic and double down on all of that. So that's where I think we're going with that. And as for your second question, would you introduce Namor in Black Panther 2 or the Eternals? So you could tease him and tease Atlantis in the Eternals. I'm going to be really interested to see how they handle Eternals because there's so much stuff that they could do, but it's not a documentary, right? It's not going to have Morgan Freeman come out and be like, 7,000 years ago, the Eternals started to do... And then, we just go through it all and we just get all this info on everything, right? So despite it having a lot of information in it and teasing a lot of stuff, they obviously need to be it needs to be a character-driven film. It needs to be a plot-driven film. So I don't know how much time they have to introduce stuff like that. But I could see them teasing it or teasing Atlantis there, particularly because of the mutations and stuff like that. But, yeah, do it in Black Panther 2, man. Do it in Black Panther 2. People want Namor. Namor and T'Challa have this big rivalry. Wakanda versus Atlantis seems awesome. So I would do it in Black Panther 2. Thoroughly enjoyed thinking about the bracket. Please keep them coming. Yeah, we might end up doing them every couple of months. I don't know if we'll do one every month, but we might do one every couple of months. I had a lot of fun doing it, and also I kind of want to get into maybe doing some trivia, guys, where we're having, how we do the community streams, which, by the way, next Monday, we'll be talking about fan casting the X-Men. I think it's going to be very fun. Everybody come with your fan casting decisions on who you would want to be in the X-Men, the MCU X-Men. That's going to be really fun. But I think we should start doing trivia as well. Giving away prizes for trivia. And that's something we could potentially do very often and have, leagues. You know what I mean? And give away nerd cards, actual nerd cards. Have nerd card questions and stuff like that. I think that'd be really fun. Or maybe it is a documentary. Yeah, that would be crazy. So, do you think the Thor 4 leaks are true? I'm not too keen on them. I think one of two things is going on. Actually, let's say this. One of three things is going on. The first and wildest option is that Marvel is putting out all of these leaks themselves, and they're doing it to throw us off the trail. I've often thought about how businesses could start doing this, studios could start doing this, and Feige in the MCU has shown an incredible ability to understand fandom. They're changing their trailers. They understand how leakers work. They understand how to hide things from us. And so some of these leaks could be done by Marvel to literally be throwing us off. And by the way, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I would not be mad about that at all because we still get to talk about them, we still get to geek out about them, and then we still get to be surprised in the theater. Okay, so that's option number one. Option number two, they're real, and they're coming from people within the studios, and that just is what it is. We're getting early looks at certain things that'll be involved in the films, and that seems normal at this point. It seems par for the course. The third option is that people are making this up, and they're making it up based on a lot of things from either the comics or just things that they're hearing out there from other good sources, right? So a lot of people think that Christian Bale will be Gore the God Butcher. And so if you put out a feasible leak, like the one yesterday was very believable about how Gore the God Butcher could be involved in this story, how Jane could be involved, and how that could all work, maybe these people are just literally doing fan fiction, but using all of the information from stuff that we already have out there to make it more plausible. Which, again, I wouldn't even be mad about. You know what I mean? I wouldn't even be mad about it. Seems cool. Bill's Mafia has to pull together and get Josh on the right path. I don't know what that means. Everything awesome? Do you mean everything awesome or everything always? Huh? Did I mention them at all today? Or are you talking about to somebody in chat, maybe? Given the current pop culture, I'm surprised The Witcher wasn't on your bracket. I don't know how... Look, that show was insanely popular for Netflix, but I really don't think it permeated into broad pop culture world. I just don't. And I think Netflix does themselves no favors by the way they do this binging stuff. It's like everybody talks about it for a second and then it's over. Now, The Witcher had a little bit better buzz than a lot of their other stuff, but still, people talked about it for a little bit and then it was over. And also, the way that show dealt with like time, confusing as hell. Why, how in God's earth did they think that was a good idea? It's really confusing for people. You know? So, no, I don't think The Witcher is even close to breaking through into the pop culture normies. I don't think it's even close. What's the Bills Mafia? I don't know that. Is that like for the Buffalo Bills? Garlic says, on Monday, are we fan casting specific X-Men or just any X-Men? You can bring any casting you want. You could cast the main people. You could cast some obscure people, you know? And the way we'll run it is we'll just bring people in, have them start talking about their casting, and then we'll probably just converse among whoever's on the stream then. What do we think about that? That's really interesting. Danny DeVito Magneto. Very interesting. I didn't see it coming, but maybe. You know, now that I think about it, I love it. Now that I think about it, totally in. Witcher vs. Conan. Let's see here. Why do you have photo of Bigfoot behind you? Holy crap. I didn't even notice that. How long has that been there? Come on, bro. That's not Bigfoot. Come on, bro. Clearly that's Chewbacca. Chewbacca. Matt O says, Witcher was good, but the time-jumping nonsense pushed away a lot of casual viewers. Yeah. And it was really cool. Like, I really liked the ending. But, like, as a casual person, like, how could... And here's the thing, too. There's just so much great content out there. All you need is the smallest reason for someone to check out. Because there's a million other things they could be watching or doing. You know what I mean? Buffalo Bills, bruh. I bleed black and gold, man. You know? Like, I'm not trying to, like, fight. And you guys aren't even in our division anymore. So, you know, go do your thing up there in Buffalo for sure. But, like, come on, man. Steelers fan for life. Steelers fan for life. Nick Jonas as Wolverine, that could actually work. That could actually work. Hector's a Jets fan? Interesting. Don't get me wrong, I like binging shows as much as the next person, but I also think weekly releases help show build steam and give us time to speculate and talk about it. Yeah. Who do I think Joe Rogan should play? Dude, imagine Joe Rogan as Beast. Imagine Joe Rogan as Beast. Would that not be fantastic? It would just be hilarious. I don't know. It seems memeably funny to me. Yo, Eagles are my second team for sure. Because I lived in Philadelphia for like 5 years. Might move back. Love Philadelphia. Love Philadelphia. That's like another thing, man, is I'm trying to figure out what's the next move for the Den of Nerds? What's the next move for Josh? Do I move back to Philly? I'm thinking about maybe moving to Florida. Josh, question, would it make sense for Marvel to introduce Apocalypse in the Eternals, or is it too late for that? They can definitely... I think they just need to introduce mutants. I don't think they should worry so much about Apocalypse, per se, even though he is a mutant that happens very early on. And it's possible, by the way, because we've heard some things about how the Eternals... People will be looking at the Eternals throughout history and getting some of our myths and our stories about gods and stuff like that from the Eternals. And so maybe the Eternals have mingled with Apocalypse. That would be really interesting. But I think they could just introduce the concept, the idea of mutants, and let that linger for a while. You know what I mean? Bring your talents to South Beach, Josh. Yeah. Although, you know what is crazy? I actually really like Orlando. And the last time we were there, when we were there late last year, or me and my buddies just took like a boys trip. It was like we had a really good year on the channel, a lot of growth, you know. And so I just wanted to do a little vacation. And so we went down there and had this like awesome resort and and honestly, the vacations and like when I ball out and like, you know, live it up, it's super nerdy. Like we played board games, we played Magic the Gathering, we played Pokemon. And don't get me wrong, like Saturday we went out and we were with some locals and holy shit did it get wild, and we had a very good time. Went to this place called Mangoes. If you're ever in Orlando and if you like to go clubbing and you like to dance and you like to go crazy, go to Mangoes. But we were down there at a time when there was not a lot of tourists. And so we hung out with a lot of locals. And man, I've always loved Orlando. But, like, I really like... I don't know, man. I gotta be honest with you. I really feel like Orlando might be the next move for your boy Josh. Because we'll have access to the parks, be able to go, you know, do Star Wars stuff at the park if we need to. We're fairly close to Atlanta. So maybe we can start going to Atlanta to either interview actors or try to get our own set photos or talk to insiders and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That airport, I'm kind of thinking Orlando might be the spot for your boy Josh. That's what I'm kind of thinking. And we got a super chat coming in here from Jordan Huxtable, €5, which I don't know, maybe since the virus, that's maybe 25 cents, but I still appreciate it, Jordan. Thank you so much. And I'm clowning you, by the way. I'm just kidding. Who would be your first MCU X-Men team up? P.S. Dustin Clare as Wolverine would be sweet. Probably too old by the time to do it, though. I'm a little embarrassed here, but I don't even know who Dustin Clare is. I feel a little bad about that. Went to Mangoes and saw some mangoes. Amen. Who would be my first X-Men team up? That's a good question, man. That is a good question. You know what would be really baller? If they went back in time and did a movie about Wolverine and Captain America before Steve goes into the ice. some kind of mission. And I know this wouldn't really work within the whatever they set up in the Captain America movie because that's like his whole story, right? But what if like Captain America back in the day and early Logan were on an adventure? That would be really cool. I also love the Gambit character. Maybe do like a Gambit Nightcrawler thing, some kind of mystery in New Orleans or some kind of thing like that. That could be really interesting. Um, yeah, yeah, something like that could be really cool. So that's kind of my pick. But I appreciate Jordan. I appreciate the support. Thank you very much, brother. Let's see here. Atlanta is way better in your opinion. You say some Mexican mangoes? That's interesting. You're in Orlando, Hector? Mangoes is where your mom goes? Dude, we had such a wild night. Bro, we got so tore up that Saturday that we were out of commission for like the next 2 days. We did, and we honestly, my one buddy was like out of commission the whole trip, basically. Josh, all I have to say is Super Nintendo World opening a couple of years here in Orlando. Yeah, and isn't the Avengers campus opening up down there as well? You know what I mean? Plus, the business taxes are very good in Florida, just so you guys know. Like a lot of people from California, as the business taxes were rising in California, they went to Florida because the taxes are way better there. Josh was partying with Hector's mom. Hey, it's possible. It's possible. Wolverine and Cap teamed up in World War II, but Professor X wiped Cap's mind so he has no memory of him before going into the ice. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. Avengers Camp in... Oh, it's opening up in California. Okay. But they're doing one in Florida as well, right? Yeah, Connecticut, same thing, Internet Sado. Connecticut has a lot of that taxation stuff as well. Oh, you meant as in the first team. Cyclops, Beast, Iceman, Angel, and Jean, like the OG team. Yeah, that'd be really cool. You know, look, I don't know much about Atlanta, okay? But I know that it can get a little rough around Atlanta, and I used to really play a lot of HeroClix. It's a funny little story. So I used to play a lot of HeroClix, and there's a convention there called DragonCon, and DragonCon is a huge convention. People love it. Big trivia contest. It goes all night. A lot of drinking. It's a wild convention. Like, guys, once like we get rid of the Rona, we should all go to DragonCon one of these years. Like we would. Can you imagine us? Like rolling like 20 deep, Den of Nerds crew, just having a freaking blast, cosplaying different things, doing live shows, having you guys come in as a live audience and then coming on into the mic and things like that. It would be so sick. But I remember a couple of years back, we were considering going to DragonCon to participate in a big HeroClix tournament there. And literally, two of the biggest players in HeroClix got robbed at gunpoint right outside of the convention center downtown Atlanta. And we were all like, ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to go to Atlanta. I also have I have a couple of friends from my time in the restaurant industry that live down there in Atlanta as well. And that would be really cool. And look, they film so much stuff down there. It's like literally a mini Hollywood. You know? So I think that'd be really cool. But I'd prefer to be in Orlando. I don't know. I had a really good time when I was there last time. I was like, this is really cool. I like it down here. The energy's great. And even when the tourists are gone, I think the energy's great. And if like hurricanes and shit were happening, like Orlando's far enough away from everything that it usually doesn't get blasted. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking about. Jason says, DragonCon's been going since you were a kid. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. They call it New Hollywood. Yeah, yeah, yeah. With Hector's mom. Matt O says, fuck it, just move to Minneapolis where I'm at and it'd be cold as shit with me. I actually used to live in Minneapolis. I used to live in Plymouth. And what's that big, like, super big, Matt O, help me out here. What's that massive $65 million facility that's a high school where all the, like, crazy football players and hockey players go to? What's that school called? It's in Plymouth. Just be aware of the Florida man. Bruh, I'll be the Florida man. You'll start to see all of these articles and stuff coming out. Florida man says Marvel 4chan leak is real. And I'll be like, you know, with like faces like that. You're north of that? Oh, that's cool, man. You're in Plymouth? Yeah. Thoughts on a Den of Nerds sports segment? Brother, I would love to. Travis. But we got to get our ducks in a row. Look, here's the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is we have an incredible base of passionate fans, but we need to take the next step. I feel like 2020 has been really interesting and sort of like, you know, news has been a little bit dry and numbers have went down, but it presents us with this really interesting opportunity where we have to find a way to create really great and compelling content to continue to build the hardcore base of the Den of Nerds. Okay, so we can't just rely on like ballooning views, big, huge views. Holy shit, Star Wars Episode 9, we're covering that a lot. We're getting all these views and all that. Avengers Endgame, we're getting all these views and all that. We need to work on our workflow here, and we need to take our time, man. You know what I mean? So I would love to do Den of Nerds Sports. I want to do Den of Nerds Gaming. You know what I mean? Like Justin is doing his own thing now, and that's awesome, and I wish him well, and like I'm happy that he's just making the content that he wants to make. But eventually, we need to do gaming stuff. You know what I mean? But it's just going to take some time, folks, you know? It's just going to take some time, baby. And we've got the base. We've got the support. We're going to do it, you know? But we can't necessarily just jump into things like that. You know what I mean? And I think it's a mistake to spread yourself too thin. And to be honest with you, even doing this live stream here has sort of affected the content on the main channel. And we're still just trying to figure that out, you know? But we will figure it out. We've got incredible support. And look, I'm, at the end of the day, actually really excited. I'm really excited about the future. I really am. And some of the stuff that we have planned, man, it's going to blow you guys away. Like some of the stuff Jason and I are working on, it's going to blow you guys away. In fact, I want to know in chat, Mr. Anderson, late as hell, still recovering from getting my ass handed to me by Batman fans. I mean, Batman. Yo, Brandon White, thoughts on Warzone Battle Royale? Well, my thoughts are, I was supposed to play with Russell last night, but Xbox Live like exploded last night. And I was like, first we got the Rona. Now I can't even play Xbox Live? What in God's name? You'd love to see more movie breakdowns? That's cool. That's really cool. Lavis Blackman says, how many people help you do Den of Nerds behind the scenes? Well, we've got our producers. I've got a couple of editors and graphic designers that I work with, but that's mostly on like a freelance base. 90% of it is just me. You know what I mean? Like 90% of it is just me. But like, dude, the producers are great. And Ken Cologne, that does our social media, amazing dude. Amazing kid that's really, really great at what he does and helps us out a lot on social. And then, of course, Chet, you know, ugly-ass Chet over here that helps me get the show set up each day and all that. So, yeah. 0.5% Chet. Yeah, that's about it. Call it the C virus. Man, I feel like I was going somewhere with something else, and now I'm off of that. New Clone Wars today was fantastic. I thought it was just okay. Like, I thought it was just okay. That's just me. Anyway, my thoughts on Warzone. My thoughts on Warzone are that it's amazing. And the quality of life that they did in this game is incredible. It's really, really well designed. I think it's currently crushing other battle royales. And thank God. Isn't it about time that Fortnite died? Isn't it about time that Fortnite died? Because I'm over Fortnite, guys. In fact, I've been over Fortnite. Can't stand it. But yeah, love Warzone. Incredible mode. And I actually played the other mode a couple of days ago. What was the other? Blunder. Blunder's a great mode too. I really like Blunder. I wish I knew my freaking Xbox name. It's Stop Mirror with some numbers. But guys, go to the Discord later because I'm going to be putting my info in there. Russell put his info. Oh, no, he hit me up with that on Patreon. Never mind. But we can, if we want to get some Warzone going on later, where we all like hang out and play Warzone, hit us up on the Discord. Go to the Discord, and then we can all talk about that and play. But yeah, it's cross-platform, so Captain Pennsylvania, we can play together. Yo, Russell's, I think, on PC. Russell's on PC. You're on PS4, and I think we could still all play together, which is kind of cool. Lavis coming in with the super chat. I appreciate the support, brother. Thank you so much. I think the show is awesome. Keep it up. Stay being risque, speaking your mind, and expanding, and people will definitely spank that like button. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. We're not stopping anytime soon, maybe ever. And there's just some things that we've got to round the bend on, some new kind of ideas, new kind of content. How do we fit it in? How do we keep the workflow low? All these different questions, right? But ultimately, I'm having a blast doing these streams with you guys every day. I think they can definitely be improved, and we're working on making improvements and stuff like that too. But, it's a balancing act. It's going to take some time. You know what I mean? It's going to take some time, guys, What is Discord? Discord, look it up. It's like a chatting system. It's like a message board chat thing. Jekko says he's loving the streams. Well, thank you so much, brother. I'm loving doing the streams, man. And I think the streams are going to improve in quality. I want to give you guys just an amazing, great piece of content. Such good entertainment. And also just hang out and have fun. You know what I mean? I play Battlefront a little bit, Will. I play Battlefront a little bit. Yeah, get over on the Discord boards. Oh, hell yeah, dog. Lavish says 60-year-old Josh still covering comics and nerddom and loves it. Hell yeah, man. Absolutely. We do have a Den of Nerds Discord. If any of the producers or anybody that has the Discord link can drop it into the chat right now, that would be great. That would be helpful. 60-year-old me watching nerdy shit. Well, I gotta tell you guys, once we get past Rona and stuff like that, and this might be a little bit of a weird thought. Thank you, Russell. Russell, I don't know, bro. I almost feel like taking away your wrench and giving your wrench right back. You've been so supportive, Russell. Wu-Tang Wells has been so supportive of us for so long. I got to get some Warzone games in with you, bro. Hopefully later tonight we can set that up as long as Xbox is working tonight. Dude, Battlefront has gotten really good of late. I agree with you. Josh Mason said he's 63 already. Well, let me get back to my point about that. Check this out, folks. With advances in modern science, you and me, we might be living to like 150 years old. Seriously. People don't realize that. Like, everybody's working on this timetable thinking that things aren't going to go crazy in the next 50 years. I think that's ridiculous. I think 90% of the people that are watching this stream right now are going to literally live to be about 150 years old, maybe even older. And so can you imagine being 100 years old? And we're all in this like digital space, like digital, like whatever is the future then, right? Like instead of doing a stream, we all like project into this like auditorium and we're literally like doing a live show where everybody's just literally there or some crazy shit. And then we'll be talking about how like, "Oh, I remember all the way back in 2020 when we went to the theaters to watch these movies and we were so concerned about the Rona and we were into checking out Infinity War and Endgame and all that stuff." And you know what I mean? It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. And yes, I will still be here making this content for you. You know, with my cyborg replacements and my genetically enhanced body and all that. You know, maybe I'll clone myself so that we have a second Josh working on a different video. We're doing all these different videos going on at once, something like that. So, should be really cool. Anyways, guys, we're going to call the stream there. Look, it's been a weird week. And again, it just is what it is, guys. It is what it is. And I personally think it is just going to get weirder for at least the next couple of months. But I do think everything will buff out. And, you know, we'll get through this together. Like, honest to God. Like, I know some people were saying this. Some people were saying this in the chat earlier, and I just really appreciate it. People were saying, like, hey, man, the stream in the morning has really helped me kind of get through this weird time. Guys, you're helping me. You're helping me. The fact that I get to come on here every morning and hang out with you guys and just talk about all this nerdy shit that we love, it's been helping me. I don't have to think about all the craziness that's going on there. I don't have to worry about my mother. I don't have to worry about my stepdad, you know, who's... You know, like, that's the thing. Like, people are like, oh, this ain't a big deal. This ain't a big deal and all that. Like, guys, I got some older people in my life that I care quite a bit about. I do not want them to get this, you know? And just in general, the strain on the medical system and everything like that, you know? It's like, it's scary stuff. It's scary stuff, but hopefully a wake-up call for us in a lot of different ways as well. Trev coming in with hot with a super chat says, cyborg human entertainment technician. Chat, oh my God, that is a brilliant idea. Brilliant idea. But anyways, we're going to get out of here. Anthony, I see your question. Maybe come back Monday and ask that question on the show. Just appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Love you all. I hope you have an awesome and a nerdy day. Take care of each other. And I will see you in the next video. Chat, do I even have to ask, man? You know, like what? How long have we been promising this outro video? How long? I feel like we're going to get New Mutants before we're going to get the new outro video.